Okay, we're going to take a look at this and hopefully we'll be able to answer some questions and help people better understand the tentative agreement we'll be voting on. First thing that people need to realize is, as it says right here, state law says if the county council does not fund the budget, then pretty much everything's back open for negotiations that involve money. Some people had expressed concern that we are excited that we're maintaining our health care formulas, but because we did negotiate that we would keep those for 5 years when we gave up our COLAs and steps 3 years ago or 2 years ago, but because the county did not fund it, the county council did not fund the budget request, that's basically put the health insurance formulas back into play. Now, looking at this, there are several key things. The first is salaries. Salaries will remain the same. We will not get a COLA. We will not get a step. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody, but that's the first part. Second part, the day before Thanksgiving, so that Wednesday, that's a half day for students, and it's a work day for staff, and if you wanted to leave when the students did, you'd have to take leave. Well, starting next year, people will be able to leave 2 hours early and they will not be charged leave for that. Some people are saying this is just, a bone thrown to us, and it pretty much is a bone thrown to us, but it's at least something. So and it says beginning in 2012, so my assumption is that will be from here on out until we change the contract. Okay, healthcare, they're going to form a work group with the other organizations to look at healthcare cost containment. They do that all the time. However, this is where I think we may see our healthcare formulas go up a little bit. Some people have asked how we were able to keep this formula ratio of 95/5 or 90/10, and pretty much the main reason why is this year the cost of medical care stayed flat compared to previous years, and generally it's supposed to go up about $6 million every year just because costs rise. But because of the cost containment strategies, people did not submit healthcare claims as much. I guess people were healthier. I don't know, but the board had in reserves, I believe it was $6 or $7 million, so they were able to use that to further fund the little bit of money that the council gave us. So that's where we're able to maintain that. I think next year will probably be the last year, though. Keep our fingers crossed, but you never know. Next one about tuition reimbursement. Next school year, tuition reimbursement is going to stay the same. Currently, you can get reimbursed for 3 classes. You get half of what a graduate course costs at Maryland. Next year, that's going to stay the same. I have a feeling that that's something that's going to be changed, though. They're going to form a work group to look at this with the other organizations and recommend changes to the policy if needed, and those will be subject to future negotiations. My gut feeling on this is they are going to do something where maybe instead of getting reimbursed for 3 classes, you only get 2 classes. Maybe it might be something, for instance, I take a course, about every summer I take a course online. That costs about $400. Well, I get full reimbursement for that because it's half of an in-state tuition is about $800. So since that's under my $400 cost, it's fully paid for. So I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe even look at something like you get half of your cost of your course up to the full cost of a graduate course in the state. Next one is athletic stipends. As most of the coaches know, pretty much all the athletics took a hit. Um, Essentially, all varsity sports have 3 hours of practice reduced, with the exception of varsity boys volleyball and varsity co-ed volleyball. In addition to that, they also had a game reduced. And then JV stipends were reduced by games and practices, and that's really where a lot of the big hits came from. One of the things I did bring up, and I asked at the rep assembly meeting, was, did you look at reducing extracurricular activities that were not athletic, such as senior class sponsor, drama director? I believe debate is a stipend activity that has a set amount. Junior class sponsor, newspaper sponsor, choral director, marching band precedes, and things like that, all the way down to safety patrols at the elementary level, because that would minimize the impact if you spread it out over more people. I was told they did not, that this was pretty much in response to what the Board of Ed said is in their budget. And they originally were going to cut $1 million out of athletics, and they ended up reducing that to 750,000. But that is something. The good thing about this is, while the practices were cut and games were cut, the stipend rate, and while it's $14 an hour, which is a complete joke, that was not cut. So when these games and practices are put back in, hopefully in future years, then you'll get the money. So that's not something coaches want to hear, but unfortunately, that's what happened. Okay, and this last part, and this is important, a lot of people need to understand this. It says that there'll be a re-opener for fiscal year 12, 13, and 14, so that's the next 3 years. That will talk about the following: economic provisions negotiated that weren't implemented, such as salaries, and then these other things: salary costs and implementation dates for salary steps and delayed longevity compensation. And that's basically every year we're going to try to look, and depending on where the county is in terms of funding and money, how we can start getting money into back into our steps or COLAs or something. All elements of the health insurance plans are up for negotiation again. That would happen anyways if the council did not fund the budget request. Um, so that's going to be there anyways. I do think something's going to change after next school year. We probably are going to be paying more for health insurance, as unfortunate as that sounds. And then the tuition reimbursement programs is what I just talked about. And then in addition, next year, parties may open up any 2 articles. Now, some people had asked why this didn't address things like, working conditions, back to school night, less chaperone duties, things like that. The reopener on this was strictly on money issues. So that's why it is. One other thing real quick on this is people are going to have to be very active next year. MCA is trying to do an outreach to the community, showing that the school systems are hurting because of what the council has done, and it's going to need a lot of involvement by teachers and support staff and professional staff and librarians and guidance counselors and everybody. So that's kind of something you're going to have to kind of be thinking about, because it's going to be important. Hopefully this video has helped you understand it. If you have any questions, by all means, please ask, and I'll do the best I can to help you with it.